I was floating approximately 3 feet above my body when the doctor shocked my heart. At that moment, a tunnel formed above the doctor's head, and the tunnel absorbed me. I clearly remember that there was a sense of urgency to pass through it and go to the light. Welcome to Let's Lift the Veil. If these testimonies touch you, help us spread the word. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Every interaction helps these extraordinary voices be heard by as many people as possible. Keep sharing the light. Stay curious. Stay open. Let's lift the veil together. Hi everyone. Today I want to share something incredibly personal, an experience that has reshaped the way I see life, love, and even time itself. What I'm about to tell you isn't a story I read or a tale someone told me. It's something I lived twice. And even now, years later, it continues to echo in every part of who I am. I was upstairs, and my brother pushed me from the second story of our house. The straight staircase turned 90 degrees to the main floor. I tumbled down and landed on my neck with my body on top. My mother heard the commotion and ran to the stairs. When she picked me up, I realized I couldn't breathe. I gasped as hard as I could, but no air entered my lungs. I didn't panic. Instead, I surrendered to the energy's pull. I started turning blue, and it was my mother who panicked. She picked me up and ran for the car, leaving my 7-year-old brother alone. I died as she walked out the door, but I could still see what was happening from above. She plopped my lifeless body on the back seat and ran to the other side. My mother drove to the military hospital a few minutes away. I'm an army brat. As she pulled me out of the car, I followed her, uncertain what was happening. As she ran into the hospital, she screamed for help. I have never forgotten the following. She called me by my first name and stated I had fallen. The emergency room doctor was an elderly man, tall with short white hair and boasted a slight hunch at shoulder height. He was wearing civilian clothing. The walls were the typical army green color but a pastel shade. My mother placed me on the bed and left to call my father. When he arrived, she drove back home to my brother. In the room, a big light above my body looked like a flying saucer. There was a chair in the corner with a duffel bag under it. On the wall next to the chair was a white metal glass cabinet with medication in it. To my right was a metal desk with a drawer on the right side. The doctor was to my left and started CPR in vain. When my father arrived, he urged the doctor to use the defibrillator because I suffered from tachycardia. The doctor grabbed the defibrillator from another storage unit at the foot of the bed and started the machine. Curious, I dropped down to investigate what this machine was. I was floating approximately 3 feet above my body when the doctor shocked my heart. At that moment, a tunnel formed above the doctor's head. The tunnel absorbed me. I clearly remember that there was a sense of urgency to pass through it and go to the light. I surrendered to its pull when I realized breathing wasn't necessary. Once into the light, it turned to darkness. But the darkness felt like light. This doesn't make sense, but I have no other word to describe it. The sensation was familiar and reassuring. Passing through the tunnel felt normal. So I started enjoying the sensation of weightlessness and absorbed the knowledge. The experience was like the universe was feeding me the information I needed to live my current life. When I saw the sand, I knew I was no longer in Ontario. In an instant, the feeling was loving and warm. I knew where I was. Home. I had another NDE when I was 33 years old. I was already in the emergency room for arrhythmic defibrillation. When I looked at the monitor before dying, my heartbeat spiked at 244 BPM. I turned and looked at the doctor, who was also staring at the monitor. My heart stopped. I again slipped out of my body, but I didn't hover. I immediately joined the thought form, for lack of a better word. My life, behind the veil. I've had 2 near-death experiences, one in 1973, and another in 2003. Both times my heart stopped. Both times I crossed over. But the second time I came back with a purpose. What I felt wasn't fear, it was peace. Not just calmness, but something deeper, like being embraced by the universe itself. There was a light, but it wasn't like any light we see here. It was as if all the colors in existence were condensed into one infinite presence. A light that was somehow also a darkness, but not in a frightening way. It was rich, full, alive. I left my body clearly. I wasn't dreaming or imagining. I was fully conscious. More conscious than I'd ever been. It felt like I knew everything. Every question I could ask was answered before I even formed the thought. It wasn't information. It was knowledge, like I was plugged into the source of all things. My senses were supercharged. Colors had a soul. Sound was balanced. Even time didn't exist the way we think of it. Everything just was. During one of my NDEs, I found myself in Egypt. Not a vague, symbolic Egypt, but real and precise, down to the curve of the Nile. I recognized it because I'd lived there in another life. And I wasn't alone. I saw them, the souls I've always been connected to. Family, friends, people I've loved across lifetimes. I found them again in this life too. And somehow, some of them remember me too. The connection I share with these people goes beyond anything words can describe. With one of them, my closest soul connection, I feel everything. When he's sad, I feel it. When he's happy, I know it. I don't even need to see or speak to him. That bond, that level of love, is the purest truth I've ever known. I was raised without religion. I didn't really believe in God. But what I experienced didn't fit into any belief I held at the time. Now, I don't follow a specific religion, but I live in a constant state of spiritual connection. I meditate, I write, and I follow the guidance that comes through these deep, silent places where knowledge flows. What I've learned is that we're not separated. Not by time, not by space. We're part of one grand whole. Everything I thought divided us is an illusion. Love isn't just an emotion. It's the substance of the universe. When we remember that, everything changes. My NDEs showed me my purpose. To love unconditionally, to remind others that we're one, and to help reunite those who've been torn apart by fear, doubt, or forgetting. I've seen futures. Some of them personal, some meant for others. When I'm shown a vision 3 times without change, I act. But I never reveal it outright. I just gently guide. I can still access that place during meditation, but only when everything aligns. It's not about escaping life. It's about deepening it. The knowledge is still there. It vibrates differently than anything here. When I'm in it, I don't think I know. This journey has taught me that love is the constant. It's the answer to every question I didn't know I had. My life, my relationships, even how I breathe, it's all different now. And even though it's hard to explain, I keep sharing it, because I know someone out there is looking for a sign. Maybe this is yours. If my story resonates with you, you're not alone. We're never really alone. Thank you for listening to this near-death experience. If this story moved you, please consider liking, commenting, and sharing it. It's a small action for you, but it means the world to this growing channel. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next journey beyond the veil. Every click helps us give voice to these powerful stories. Take care of yourself and those you love. Until next time, keep sharing the light. Stay curious, stay open. Let's lift the veil together.